Adam, I don't want to mess about. Let's get straight into it. Erik Ten Hag, talk me through your thoughts on him. Are you wanting him sacked? Do you think he might get sacked? Everything. Lay it on me. What you got?
All the above, please, mate. I want him gone. I think everybody in our fan base knows my opinions on Ten Hag right now. I thought the decision should have been made without the sort of the highs of that FA Cup final win, let's say, against Man City. It just looks like the new ownership that came in Ineos and Sir Jim Radcliffe just they fell to the fans and the emotion of that day. And I think most Manchester United fans realistically would look at 8th in the league, worst ever Premier League finish, make a decision now on a high. See you later. Thank you, Erik. Let's move forward now under a new regime. But no, and then I just knew the writing was on the wall. Like your leopard never changes its spots. And Ten Hag's form, last season, put it this way, mate. Last season we had our worst ever start in Premier League history. That followed the worst ever finish in Premier League history. Ten Hag then beat his old record for the worst start this season in Premier League history from the previous year. And it's just the same cycle. Whether I think he is going to be sacked or not, well, we'd have thought it would happen in the last international break, but obviously it didn't. They've hung around a little bit, whether that's financial. Obviously, he gets a 15 million payout if we sack him now. So I think Ineos are trying to save money there. Maybe, I don't know. But we stand to lose quite a lot substantially if we finish far down the league table. Sponsorship deals are hit, no Champions League money, obviously revenues as well for a certain amount of games you'd get through being in different cups, and obviously the Premier League money at the end. The further down the league you go, the less money you get. So I think we'd stand to lose more in keeping him and not having a successful season than sacking him now and just fucking out 15 million. But I just don't know is the answer to it if he is going to get sacked. In terms of whether I feel he should be, I think the stats on their own tell you it's embarrassing for Manchester United, and his standards that he is trying to upkeep and convince people of that are all right are just being, mate, they're being blown up to all different levels right now. We haven't won a European game in a year. We've won one of our last 11 European games. We've literally got our worst start to a Premier League season off the back of our worst finish. Honestly, I don't know which stat is worse right now. Get rid of the man, for God's sake, please.
Are you confident, though, that if you didn't win at Wembley, that he would have got the sack?
Yeah, he'd have gone. 100% he would have gone. The fans were in euphoria central that day. I think The Athletic was running a poll. The MEN, our local paper, was running a poll. Everyone was running polls straight off the back of one of the biggest games of the season. And we played well in that. Yeah. And it looked like, wow, we've got something. We've just beat City. Surely it can only get better right now. And that's the feeling it got. I walked out of Wembley that day. I was there, mate. And I went, I've had a great day, but let's move on. And I think there was a few fans that got swayed by that day and what happened against City. And it overshone everything that had happened the previous few months. It was a disaster of a season for United. And we scraped by some of them FA Cup ties as well. Like last minute goal against Nottingham Forest, Casemiro header in injury time, awful game. Let's not forget what happened against Bleeding Coventry in the semi-final. I think we was a toenail away on VAR from actually losing a 3-0 lead to a championship side. That alone should have been enough to tell you how poor Manchester United are and playing under Ten Hag. But yeah, if we didn't win that final, I think it would have been easy for him. I really do. And you know, probably as a West Ham fan, that like every other Premier League fan does with United and Ineos on the hunt for a manager, how many people we actually spoke to in this time. It was clear they wanted someone else. And in the end, I think they just got caught in two minds and thought, you know what, let's just see if we can actually move forward with Ten Hag. And it's been the biggest mistake that they've made so far in their first year in owning Manchester United.
Yeah, and like you said, in the summer they approached other managers and then couldn't attract the ones they wanted and decided to stick with Ten Hag. Do you think that's part of the reason he's still in the job and they may be delaying the potential sacking, which is they just don't have an alternative lined up to take the reins from him? So it's just a case of we'll just stick with him for now until somebody good becomes available.
It sounds crazy, some like Manchester United talking like that, doesn't it? Like, oh, let's just stick around because there's no one else. No, you get rid of him and then you go and get someone. You're Man United, for God's sake. And I don't want to sound like I'm coming across arrogantly, but if you are supposedly one of the biggest football clubs in world football, you don't just hang around because there might not be anyone there. You go and get someone. You make it happen. Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Barcelona, none of these clubs would wait around waiting for someone to actually turn up or be available. you make something happen. That's what big clubs do, well, supposedly anyway. But yeah, in terms of people not being around or available, I think that is part of it. Ineos' first summer, I think that's got a big part of it as well. A whole new staff. They've backed him so much in the summer as well. I feel like they didn't want to. They didn't want to look embarrassed on their first sort of season or full season as Manchester United's dual ownership model, and I think that's got a big reasoning, a lot of reasoning, behind it. And I think the longer this goes on, the realization will kick in with them, and they will pull the plug. I mean, Sir Jim Radcliffe is cutthroat. I cannot believe, mate, that he hasn't done it already.
Yeah, I can't either, to be fair. When you started approaching all the other managers in the summer, I thought, all right, that's it. He's gone then, because you don't do that unless you've decided to sack him. But to do that, then decide to stick with him. But also from the other side of it, I appreciate there's a financial incentive. I think why is Ten Hag stuck around when he knows his employers are trying to replace him? Why have you stayed here? And then when you went and got delit in the summer in particular, which is a very Ten Hag player, all right, okay, it's not even like you're bringing in players that would play under the next manager. You're still really backing this guy, although you tried. So it just feels like you're getting some seriously mixed messages coming out of Old Trafford from the summer onwards. Is there anyone in particular that you would like to replace Ten Hag?
I didn't mind Tuchel. I thought he would have been a perfect fit for us personally. My favourite is Nagelsmann, but obviously he's committed to Germany till 2026 World Cup. You're looking at Amorim. I think he's lined up for City with Bergerstein. Pep's sporting director gone. Pep not announcing his decision. It is thought amongst a lot of media up here in the north that Pep's successor is going to be Amorim from Sporting. So then you're looking at who else is available really then. And then maybe Xavi coming in. I'm all for Xavi. I don't mind a different approach. We've tried everything else. We've tried legends. We've tried the tried and trusted. We've tried the serial winners. Maybe a different style of football would work for United. I like Enrique at PSG, but obviously if they've got him tied down there. But yeah, really, when you look at it, who is a world-class manager right now? There's no one. You can't really class managers as world-class, and then unless you're in the sort of Ancelotti and Pep sort of standings. So really, you're looking for the next best thing, aren't you? Like, who is that one that's going to come and jump onto the scene next? Can we find him before anyone else can? And that's the risk that comes with picking another manager and an unknown manager anyway. But you've got to make that step up to Manchester United. I think that's where they've struggled. They've struggled to find someone who can handle what it means to be Manchester United manager. Ten Hag is trying his best to lower the standards to his level, and the media are not having it. They're backing up, and he's just going to back himself into the corner. It needs to be a man that understands big club mentality. And right now, it's crying out, like it's shouting out to me that Xavi is the best option for United, because Barcelona, he knows what it's like. He's won the league ahead of Real Madrid in his first season at Barcelona. Yes, there's been a fallout there behind the scenes, but let's be honest, all of these big clubs around Europe have got crazy ownership models. Like we just said then, they're not afraid to pull the plug on any manager if results are not going right. And it just seems like they could cause an argument in an empty room, the hierarchies of these bigger football clubs now. But I think Xavi, yeah. I mean, right now, if I had to answer right now and pick one, obviously I'd take Nagelsmann, but we're not going to get him. So I have to be real and probably say Xavi.
I always like context around thinking of opposition fans. So what's your aims for the rest of the season? What are you hoping, man, you can go and achieve, all things considered? Forget sacking Ten Hag for a second. What are you hoping come May, man, you've done? And also, has it changed since pre-season? I appreciate because you were Ten Hag out pre-season, it may not have altered too much. But I think for somebody that maybe was back in Ten Hag might have thought, oh, we'll get Champions League, and now might not be thinking that. So I'm just intrigued to see what your hopes are for the rest of the season.
Realistically, at the start of the season, even with Ten Hag, I was saying it needed to be top four and win the Europa League. That was my standard. I looked at the Europa League and the teams in it. No Champions League teams dropping in after the group stage this time. I looked at them, I went, there's no one in that Europa League that United should be fearing. I mean, dear God. I mean, I know we're sat 21st in that league right now, but that's obviously because of issues that we've just spoke about with Ten Hag. But I said at the start of the season, win that and get top four. I thought that was doable with Manchester United squad. We've done it before 2 seasons ago. There's no reasons why we can't. Obviously, I was being a bit brave, thinking a new model had come in Ineos and a new structure ahead of Ten Hag, and maybe that's why we should give him a chance. I was right. I should have stuck to my guns. I was right all along. He was never going to change. He's too stubborn. So, yeah, top 4 in Europa League right now. Honestly, if I'm going to be honest, like getting into the top 6 is a push right now. If we get rid of Ten Hag, I think we can get top 4. It's as simple as that for me. I think this squad has got qualities in it, and he's just not using them. I mean, last night, I don't know if you watched the game or not.
I did, yeah.
He played Mazraoui at number 10. He's got 2 number 10s on the pitch and 1 sat on the bench, and he puts the right back at number 10. You don't have to be the biggest football fan. You just need to know the basics of football to know that this guy is delusional and he has lost the plot. He really has. And then he comes out and says that we're hard to beat, and getting a draw away to Fenerbahce and Porto, let's be honest, they're not the Champions League Fenerbahce and Porto of yesteryear. They are good results, and we can move on positively from that. Oh, no, Erik, no one's having that. But, yeah, I think top 6, mate, to be honest, realistically. Just get in there and maybe get close to getting some form of European football for next season. But if a new manager comes in, well, that all changes.
Yeah, I was surprised he did what he did last night. When I saw the lineup before I knew what he was doing, I was like thinking, as he played 5 at the back here, with your 3 centre backs in Mazraoui and Dalot. I thought, is that what he's doing? And before the game, he said, "Oh, Mazraoui's playing number 10. I've used him there before," and I thought, bit strange, because I think Bruno Fernandes has been really poor this season. I think he's a great player, but this season I don't think he's been very good. So it's almost like an opportunity to try something different in that role, so that you could give yourself an option for the West Ham game that you don't have to play Bruno Fernandes there. Then when I saw Mazraoui playing there, as a West Ham fan, I was a little bit relieved. I watched Bruno really turn it on Sunday and ran my words down my throat here, but I was a bit relieved, because I thought, well, I know you're going to be playing an out of form Bruno Fernandes against us on Sunday now, because the alternative was Mazraoui. He ain't going to be sticking with that. Mazraoui could have been man of match, and he's still going to get shifted to fullback for when you play us on Sunday. So it was a bit of a strange one. For any West Ham fans that haven't seen much of Man United, is there any players in form at the moment for Man U?
On the sly, Marcus Rashford, and I say that sort of on the sly deliberately, because he's showing signs of that directness and moments. Don't get me wrong, you're not going to get 90 minutes out of him. He might not track back. He might be knackered after the game against Fenerbahce. Obviously, late kickoff over there, jet lag, no preparation. You boys have had all the rest in preparation time. So I would say that you were in a better position. But Garnacho and Rashford are the ones that will win this game for United. I don't think there's anybody else at all. Anana is actually turning up, and he will probably be needed again on Sunday against you boys. That's what I will say. But yeah, I think if there was going to be anyone that stood out, Rasmus Højlund is coming into a bit of form, but hasn't been played enough for me to say he's definitely hitting the mark. It's got to be Garnacho. We've got a player on the bench who we won't use, Ten Hag, in Ahmad, who every single United fan, I'm about to put a video out tonight about this and how bad it is and the treatment that we're giving this kid. If he was on the pitch, he would be a major threat. Yeah. But he was playing Bleeding Anthony ahead of him last night. I honestly, mind boggles. But yeah, Garnacho and Rashford, I would say, probably the ones to watch out for. Probably more Garnacho.
One of them will be up against Wan-Bissaka as well, which will be an interesting battle down that side of the pitch.
Put it this way, if it's Rashford on Wan-Bissaka, Wan-Bissaka will eat him alive. I think Garnacho adds a different element to his game. I think he will cause more problems to Wan-Bissaka. Obviously, we know that Wan-Bissaka is the best one-on-one defender out there. He goes missing a lot positionally. I don't know if you've noticed that yet.
Yeah, we've discovered that already.
Yeah, as a one-on-one defender, I don't think there's anyone better. You don't get past him. He's frighteningly good at tackling, but he is a bit of a wanderer. And I think Garnacho's clever. I think he will have more. He'll have more attacking options or more things up his sleeve than what Marcus Rashford would.
Yeah. In terms of us, West Ham, what do you make of our club?
I like your players. I don't know how you're not doing better than what you are. That's the honest answer. I do. I think you have got qualities there. It's a shame that Kudus for you is out. Obviously, he is the main man. Obviously, you've got Bowen there as well. Antonio's fits and starts. as well. I do like Paquetá. I think he's a great player. I've not seen enough this season. It just seems to be really inconsistent for you boys this season. I know you've not had the easiest of games, but honestly, I look at your squad and I go, you're probably having a worse season in terms of your squad than what we are, in terms of where we should be, personally. I think you're a top 8 side easily with the players that you've got. I don't know what you think about Lopetegui and his style of play. Obviously, there's another manager under pressure for you boys, isn't it? But I think this is the type. When United come to town, and I know because I've been to the Olympic Stadium, I've been to Upton Park. I know when we turn up, West Ham usually turn up. It's a horrible ground for us to go to. And I just got that horrible feeling that the European ventures in the week and then going into this game, it's got that horrible after the Lord Mayor's show feel about it right now. And I think West Ham will take advantage of it.
Well, this has given me encouragement, this is, because I was going to ask you, how do you see Sunday going then?
Yeah, like that, really. I think if West Ham have a quick start, United could be in trouble. I think you have to catch United early. If you do, then the game plan goes out of the window with us. Inevitably, when you look at any game, just look at any game this season in particular, that United have conceded the first goal in, and look at the result. We lose every single game. We don't have an option B. If we go in front, we're a tough nut to crack. We can beat anybody. But if we go behind, we struggle. We struggle big time. We did it against Brentford, obviously, but to be honest, that goal helped us at weekends because the game was flat and it probably would have finished 0-0. But because we went in with all of the controversy of the goal and De Ligt going off with his head bust open and all of that, everyone came out angry and it just went off a little bit in the second half. There was no rhythm or rhyme or style of play or patterns or anything. It was just Sunday League. We're just going to attack and let's see how many goals we can get. That's all it was. So, yeah, I feel like if West Ham score first, it's your game. If you allow us to get in front, then you're probably going to be in trouble.
Okay, I'm going to get a score prediction from you in just a second. Before I do, if you would like to hear and see more from Adam, you can check out his channel, Forever United TV. All the links to that YouTube channel is in the description below. So go have a little gander and see what they're saying after the game, especially West Ham win. It'll be an interesting video to tune into, I think.
It'll be going off, mate. It'll be going off on Sunday if we get beat. I think I'll be waving the Ten Hag flag out big time.
Well, do you think you're going to get beat? What's your score prediction?
I feel like it's going to be another dull-ass draw, to be honest. I'm going 1-1 for this game. I think we probably just scrape something out of it, but I just don't see us winning.
Well, Adam, thank you so much. I know it's maybe not the most the best thing to preview when you're feeling a bit glum about your team currently, but I appreciate you jumping on. Thank you very much. If you guys at home have enjoyed it, please do drop a like on the video, like a thumbs up, subscribe to Hammer's Chat, Adam's channel, links in the description below, and we'll catch you in a bit.